think, Scott, that you have brought up that style can be done in many different ways. I mean, there is not only one way to be stylish, but you can play on different things and being stylish at the same time. Oh, that's great that you've brought all these up to the web and to the book. To the book you have. I mean,
I think for a lot of times, in the beginning, I think it was a little disconcerting for people because they would hear about this site called the Sartorialist, and that he was a street style photographer. And they would come to my site for the first time and they would see a guy dressed in a suit. And they'd say, that's not street style. And I'd say, well, he was on the street like everybody else. I mean, it's I maybe gave it a more broad notion of who you can be inspired by. And one of the points I've always been happy with is, so many of the fashion magazines, constantly still to this day are, all these articles about, this beauty cream to make you look 10 years younger, and this thing to make you look younger, and this thing to make you look 10 pounds lighter. But unfortunately, we're all going one direction. That's getting older. And so I'm very happy that...
The alternative is worse.
Yeah. But, I'm very happy that, I've created something that's taken seriously, but that helps show people how to grow older with a dignity and with a style, and that style doesn't end at, 30. You can have great style, and you can be inspirational. I mean, I'm very happy when I take a picture of someone, and maybe the guy's like 58 or something, and you've got all these young guys saying, that's what I want to look at, when I get older, or that's, the woman I want to look like, or that's the kind of guy I want to mate, date, or whatever. And, so that's something, again, that's different than what had been done before, and it's not for me that it was a planned out, thought out thing. It's just the way that I think. It's just the way that I see things. So, I was never even that much of a fan of street style photography before because I guess I wasn't seeing the things that interested me. So I just, because, I wanted to be a designer when I grew up. I wanted to be the next Armani. But I was way too influenced by Armani to be able to do something different. But because I never dreamed of being a photographer or street style, I think that's how I was able to do something different because I was totally uninfluenced and did something that was totally filled a void in what I was not seeing.
Traduzco todo o solo los highlights.
Now your turn.
Los highlights, ¿no? Si todo el mundo lo ha entendido, no traduzco nada. Si no, traduciré...
Are we actually tweeting right now? Are we in the act of tweeting?
No, actually you're not tweeting.
Okay,
we have
good,
some people tweeting there.
Okay.
La cuestión, que él ve las cosas de una forma individual, que él... Voy no por orden cronológico de lo que ha dicho las cosas, obviamente, que de pequeño quería ser diseñador y al final no se imaginaba que podía ser un fotógrafo que viera el estilo de la calle, que para él la calle es cualquier cosa, incluso una persona con traje, que a veces le dice, no, pero esta persona no tiene un estilo de calle, al final sí lo tiene, ¿no? Porque esta persona está en la calle, que tiene una forma muy individual de ver las cosas, él espera la reacción, la luz, no todo un modelo, él tiene que coger y quizás es un detalle, una sombra de ojos, cualquier cosa le puede hacer pues que le encaje la foto y ver el lado romántico de las cosas. Y esto es lo que le gusta, ¿no? El romanticismo de cada foto. Y entonces, cuando lo encuentra, puede ser cualquier cosa. Es poco convencional, no quiere un reportaje entero. Resumiendo, creo que van por ahí los tiros. Más cosas desde Facebook. Nos preguntan algo súper interesante. ¿Cuál es el secreto para hacer que un blog de moda llegue a tantas personas como ha hecho el suyo? Which trick you have for being such a successful blogger in fashion? What someone here that they are bloggers here, what do they need to be as successful as you are being?
So how you can encourage your competition?
Well, don't post much and take really bad pictures. It's a tricky thing. I can always only say how I did it. And I think the thing that's tricky is, when I started, there were no successful fashion bloggers anyway, and I don't even think there were many successful bloggers, people that could actually make their living at blogging. And so, when I started, it was just a passion. It was something that I wanted to do, that I would do even if I wasn't getting paid. Now, luckily, I get paid to do it. But I think, you have to not try and... it's just like me with the designers, if you try and be like me, it's going to be too influenced by what I do and not be able to come up with your unique vision. And I think you have to do something else. I mean, right now, there's a lot of press about these people that are doing blogs at 13 and 14 and 17, and that's fine, but, you know, I think one of the reasons that my blog and someone like Laurence has been able to do something and separate itself from the rest of the group is, you know, we've lived a little bit, and we've seen a little bit, and we maybe have been able to, through life experience, be able to analyze certain things and be able to see things from different points of view that a lot of people that are younger are not able to do, and articulate our point of view, but then also be able to communicate. So people don't necessarily have to agree with us, but we can, I mean, I see myself as, you know, I take these pictures, and if I have a specific thing I want to say, I feel like I'm starting the conversation. And, you know, so I think that's part of it, being able to create something, you know, and I know there's a lot of fashion journalists that are older than me that had a very difficult time with blogging. They would tell me all the time, you know, oh, I don't really think this blogging thing's good. I mean, I'm a seasoned expert, you know, why should I be talking with these people? I don't think of it that way. You know, I think of it as, you know, a lot of people have a fashion point of view. Some are better than others, but it's still interesting to have that conversation and to create a place where people can have a conversation. So I think that's important. And to be, you know, to be a leader, actually know what you're talking about. You know, I know about tailoring. I know about the business of fashion. I know about what it's like to sell, you know, to go to a fashion show, see something crazy, dramatic, but then know it may or may not ever sell. Or how they have to translate it from the runway to a shop. Or be able to come to a shop like this and right away go through the racks, know what these clothes look like on the runway, know what they look like in the showroom, and then how you have edited this collection for this local market. Most people, you know, that comes from 15 years of experience from going to shops like Colette and men's stores and women's, and so that's just experience. And so I think that's part of it, but I think the other part of it is, you know, having experience out of something outside of just fashion. You know, a lot of the point of view that, you know, informed the way I thought of starting the blog in the beginning was sports radio. In America, anyway, I don't know if you have it here. You probably have it here for soccer. But you have these radio shows, and all they do is talk about sports all day. And you've got someone who probably, you know, is the lead broadcaster, and he talks about his opinion of what's happening in sports and whatever's happening at that moment. And then people call in and talk about it, and creates a conversation. So to be good at that, you have to be able to frame questions, be able to look at what's happening, figure out what's unique and historical about it or what's unique in that point, and then create something that people are going to communicate with. And that's why my blog, I think, is so much bigger than almost everybody else's, because I think they also feel comfortable in communicating. And that's something that a lot of people don't talk about, but people talk about in the internet as being this Wild West. It's totally open. There's nothing you can do to corral this thing. You know, you can't police it. It's too crazy. It's too big. But, you know, I did the exact opposite. You know, I didn't put links on my site to blogs I didn't like. I censor comments that I think are stupid and that are mean to people. And there was a time, you know, in the very, very beginning, there was a time in the very beginning, some of the first comments I got that were really mean about this person I took a picture of, and I had to think, okay, if I don't put that through, is that going to make that person mad, and they're not going to come back and look at my site? So I had to make a conscious decision, you know, am I willing to piss these people off, but have the integrity of saying, this is how you have to be. If you're going to come to my site, you can disagree with me, but you have to do it with a level of respect.
You have to behave.
You have to behave. You have to be a grown-up. You know, you have to be able to talk about this in a real way. You don't have to agree, but you have to be respectful. And that was a real decision. And I thought, okay, I would rather go down this road and see where it takes me and have integrity with that than just say, okay, say whatever you want, go ahead and try and get as many people. And without talking about it, I think people appreciated that. And I think it's one of the unspoken, one of the things that no one's really talked that much about is actually having the balls to say, no, you can't talk that way here. It's really helped.